Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt reach divorce settlement after 8 years. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have reached a settlement after 8 years in one of the longest and most bitter divorces in Hollywood history. In a statement, Jolie's lawyer James Simon said, "More than 8 years ago, Angelina filed for divorce from Mr. Pitt. She and the children left all of the properties they had shared with Mr. Pitt, and since that time she has focused on finding peace and healing for their family. This is just one part of a long ongoing process that started 8 years ago. Frankly, Angelina is exhausted, but she is relieved this one part is over. No court documents have been filed yet, and a judge will need to sign off on the agreement." Jolie, 49 years old, and Pitt, 61 years old, were one of Hollywood's most prominent couples for 12 years. Dubbed Brangelina, the two Oscar winners have 6 children together. After tying the knot in 2014, Jolie filed for divorce in 2016, following a private jet flight from Europe during which she said Pitt was abusive towards her and their children. In 2019, a judge declared them divorced and single, but the settling of their assets and child custody had to be decided separately. A private judge hired by Pitt reached a decision soon after that, which included equal custody of their children, but Jolie filed to have him removed from the case over an unreported conflict of interest. An appeals court agreed, the judge was removed, and the couple had to start over. The use of private judges, an increasingly common move among splitting celebrities in recent years, has meant court proceedings are largely kept under wraps. Some details, however, have been revealed through a separate lawsuit filed by Pitt, in which he alleged Jolie went back on an agreement that she would sell him her half of a French winery the two owned together. It is not clear how the divorce agreement will affect that lawsuit. A lawyer representing Pitt has not commented. Keanu Reeves' stolen Rolex found in Chile. A Rolex stolen from John Wick star Keanu Reeves has been found in Chile, according to police in the South American country. The watch, which is believed to have been taken from the Hollywood actor in Los Angeles in December 2023, was discovered after an arrest linked to crimes in the nation's capital, Santiago. Pictures posted online by the Investigations Police of Chile show an engraving on the back of the Rolex Submariner, which says, "The John Wick 5. Keanu thank you JW for 2021 inch." Rolex Submariners were reportedly given to members of the team that filmed the 4th installment of the franchise, including stuntmen. Police said jewels, valuable watches and other items were seized, including a watch from a famous film actor, victim of a robbery in Los Angeles, USA, in December 2023. A police official confirmed the Rolex belongs to the Matrix star Reeves in a television interview with Chilean broadcaster TVN, and said they were working with Los Angeles police to get it back to him. Reeves's representatives have also been contacted for comment. His Los Angeles home was targeted by masked burglars in December 2023 while he was not there, according to TMZ. The celebrity news site reported a firearm was taken, but it was not clear if anything else was stolen in the raid. In February 2023, Reeves was granted a restraining order against a man who allegedly made a number of unwanted visits to his home, including going to sleep in his back garden. Pizza delivery woman stabs pregnant customer over $2 tip. A pizza delivery woman stabbed a pregnant customer over a $2 tip, authorities in the US say. Brianna Alvelo, 22 years old, is charged with attempted murder after allegedly stabbing the woman multiple times at a motel in Kissimmee, Florida. The victim, her boyfriend and her 5-year-old daughter were staying at the Riviera Motel to celebrate a birthday and ordered Marco's Pizza on Sunday, according to a court document reported. Alvelo delivered the pizza, which cost around $33, and was asked to provide change for a $50 bill but did not have the change, the affidavit said. The woman then searched for smaller bills and in the end gave Alvelo a $2 tip. She told police that some time later she heard a loud knocking on the door. A man and a woman wearing masks and all black forced themselves into the room when she opened the door, she said. The man brandished a silver revolver and demanded that the woman's boyfriend go into the bathroom, and the other person, believed to be Alvelo, pulled out a pocket knife, the document said. As the woman turned to shield her child, she felt a strike on her lower back, she said. She then threw her daughter onto the bed and attempted to pick up her phone, the affidavit said, but Alvelo grabbed it and smashed it. Alvelo then began striking her multiple times with the knife, according to the affidavit. The man who had the gun then yelled it was time to go, stopping the assault, it said. The woman received 14 stab wounds and discovered she was pregnant while being treated in hospital. Alvelo is charged with attempted murder, home invasion with a firearm, kidnapping, and aggravated assault, according to court records. A man alleged to have accompanied Alvelo during the incident has not yet been identified. NASA spacecraft survives closest ever approach to the Sun. A NASA spacecraft is safe after making the closest ever approach to the Sun by a human-made object, the space agency says. The Parker Solar Probe came within 3.8 million miles of the Sun's surface today, NASA said. It traveled at 430,000 miles per hour as it flew into our nearest star's outer atmosphere, called the corona, enduring temperatures of up to 982 Celsius. The agency said the mission operations team at the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory, APL, in Laurel, Maryland, received the signal on evening. The spacecraft, which was on a mission to help scientists learn more about the Sun, is expected to send back detailed data about its condition and experiences. Following its record-breaking closest approach to the Sun, NASA's Parker Solar Probe has transmitted a beacon tone back to Earth indicating it's in good health and operating normally, NASA said. The Parker Solar Probe was launched in 2018 and has been gradually circling closer towards the Sun, flying past Venus to use the planet's gravity to move it into a tighter orbit. Scientists hope the mission will take measurements to help them better understand how material near the Sun gets heated to millions of degrees, find out where solar wind comes from, and discover how energetic particles are accelerated to near light speed. Scientists build tiny virtual reality goggles for mice. Scientists have built tiny VR goggles for mice so they can better study how animals behave in virtual reality. Researchers at Cornell University created the mouse goggles using low-cost, off-the-shelf components such as smartwatch displays and tiny lenses. They then put the headsets on the mice, seeing how they responded to different stimuli. The miniature goggles could help reveal how the brain deals with spatial navigation and memory, which may help scientists understand diseases like Alzheimer's and its potential treatments, according to Cornell University. One of the most effective VR tests was tricking mice into believing an expanding dark blotch was approaching them, according to Cornell. When we tried this kind of a test in the typical VR setup with big screens, the mice did not react at all, said Matthew Isaacson, one of the study's lead authors. But almost every single mouse, the first time they see it with the goggles, they jump. They have a huge startle reaction. They really did seem to think they were getting attacked by a looming predator. About a decade ago, the Cornell team started designing expensive projector screens so mice could be studied navigating virtual reality environments, but the rigs were often clunky and ineffective. Instead, Mr. Isaacson set about assembling a VR headset that would be simpler but more immersive. Many of the components he needed were already commercially available. Pea-sized snails were considered extinct for 100 years will be released into the wild. A species of tiny snail has been brought back from the brink of extinction. The desertus island land snails were believed to have disappeared altogether for 100 years, but experts have managed to breed them in captivity after discovering tiny populations on an isolated island called Desertus Grande in the Madeira archipelago, Portugal. Now more than 1,300 of the critically endangered snails are being released into the wild on the nearby island of Bugio. The rescue effort began when a team of conservationists discovered 2 species of the snail surviving on the rocky cliffs of Desertus Grande. Fewer than 200 individual snails were found in each population. They were believed to be the last of their kind, so the conservationists brought them to zoos in the UK and France as part of efforts to save the species. 60 of the pea-sized snails were flown to Chester Zoo, where experts began a unique breeding program to boost their numbers. Both of the species were successfully bred in captivity for the first time ever. Dr. Gerardo Garcia, Chester Zoo's head of ectotherms, said, "When the snails first arrived in Chester, the very future of the species was in our hands. As a zoo conservation community, we knew nothing about them. They'd never been in human care before, and we try to figure out what makes them tick, how to care for them, how to create an environment in which they could flourish, and how to encourage them to breed." The snails had originally been all but wiped out due to invasive goats, rats and mice. Experts chose to relocate them to Bugio Island as they would be less at risk from these threats. Each of the snails has been individually marked with a tiny amount of infrared paint so they can be carefully monitored.